Hey yo, what's going on? I hope you're having an awesome day. If not, just breathe in and breathe out, because life could be a lot worse. Be happy and enjoy what you have in life. I want to share some stories of my life with you, and also some other cool stuff. So subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're not gonna do that, I love you anyway. To follow up the previous video about love, I want to talk to you about girls. So if you haven't watched that video yet, click on the info bar and watch it now. When I was a little boy, I was quite popular with the girls. Even before I was 11 years old, I had 2 girlfriends, and I can still remember their names. I met my very first girlfriend at scouting, and her name was Romy. I can still remember the bus ride we sat next to each other. My second girlfriend lived nearby, and I really liked her. Her name was Christina, and she was the most beautiful girl on the block. But then, because of the war, I fled Lebanon with my mother and sister and came to the Netherlands at only 11 years old. But even then, I was quite popular with the girls. And then, before the age of 14, I had like 7 or 8 girlfriends. Not at the same time, of course. But then, after the age of 14, there was silence. So when I was around 14 years old, my whole environment changed. I moved to a new city, new school, new friends. But I got insecure. Insecure of my body. I had more hair growth on my body than anyone else at school. I was insecure about the way I talked, and I wasn't one of the cool kids anymore. I couldn't talk to girls anymore. I was very shy, and my heart started pounding really fast every time I had an interaction with a girl. And that lasted for a little bit less than 10 years. But still, I really liked girls. I learned to appreciate them and respect them. And then at the age of 23, I moved out and went to live on my own, far away from anyone I knew. And then everything changed. So the moment I started to live on my own, there was no one around me to think about. So I became a bit selfish. And for the very first time, I started to think about me instead of other people. One thing led to the other. I started to have a really great social life. I made a lot of friends because of playing basketball, playing volleyball, fitness. I even started taking improvisation classes, and salsa dancing was introduced to my life. I did all of those at the same time, and at first I was still insecure. Less insecure than when I moved out, but still insecure. And then I met a woman. So this woman, her name was Anita. We became best friends, and because we both danced salsa, we went to every party we could go to. One time when I was teaching her a couple of salsa steps, she said, "You're so good at so many things. Is there something you're not good at?" And I replied with, "Girls." And that's the moment she started explaining everything that has to do with girls. I can still remember her saying something about emotions and how they work with girls in comparison to guys. She said, emotions with guys are like a switch. You can turn them on or off. And emotions with girls are like a knob that you can turn. So there's always a state of emotions. Depending on the mood, her emotion can gradually increase or decrease. After that, I got better with girls and I started chasing after them. But of course, that didn't go smoothly. Especially with the rejection. Every time a girl rejected me, I felt sad and I felt like I wasn't good enough. But I didn't give up. I started to notice every bit of behavior that people did. From jumping into self-defense mode every time critique was given to them, to body language. And I really learned a lot. And I learned to look at a situation not from my own point of view, but from a third person's point of view. So someone standing somewhere else looking at what's happening. So now, when a girl rejected me, I didn't think, am I not good enough? What's wrong with me? I started to notice her side of the story. The rejection suddenly wasn't about me anymore. It was about her. Her way of thinking and what she expects of a man. And maybe I didn't fit her own image of a man, and that's because everyone has a different taste. Just like every man has his own image of a woman. So from then on, no rejection could hurt me anymore. So what now? Now going back to the woman that taught me a lot of things about girls. At that time she said that I would attract a lot of girls and that they want to hang around me. And of course I like that idea, but I never think that would happen. So fast forward like 3 years later, and what once was a great vision became reality. But there's one thing that has changed. I'm not chasing after girls anymore, that it's my top priority. The difference between chasing girls that is a top priority and just enjoy them being around me is the what if. So instead of me thinking, what if I got her number and things would develop and things like that, I don't think about girls as maybe this one could be the next one. I just see them as friends and get to know them, share enjoyable moments and have some laughs together. And maybe when that one girl crosses my path and the chemistry is really good, then things could develop. Since I started to think that way, I became more relaxed and I started to feel like a free man. Life is a lot more than just that physical attraction. Because when you're having an intimate interaction with someone, it takes like 15 minutes to half an hour, and then what? So build great relationships with the people around you. And when you have a mutual attraction with someone on an intellectual level as well as physical one, then you can be comfortable and just be yourself. So no more insecurities by trying to prove yourself that you're good enough and whatnot. Just be yourself and love other people just the way they are with no expectations in return. I hope you've enjoyed my little story and maybe somehow you can relate it to your own life and learn something from my experiences. Thank you for watching and subscribe if you haven't already. It would really help me out. Keep improving yourself and don't forget to love one another.